Hello and welcome to Daily Action Picks. My name is Anthony Dabbundo. I have two best bets for the NIT Semifinals on Tuesday night in the Big Apple. Madison Square Garden, 7 p.m. Eastern. Xavier takes on St. Bonaventure. If you don't know much about the Bonnies, they only play 6 guys. They have the shortest bench in the country. They're very old. They're very experienced. They've had a lot of time playing together. They're fifth in experience, but they are dead last in bench minutes. The main thing, you're not going to see any rotation from them, so foul trouble becomes a major concern for St. Bonaventure when they play teams who like to get to the free throw line, and Xavier is top 50 in the country in free throw rate offensively. They like to get downhill and attack the rim often, but I think it's going to be hard for them to get to the rim against Bonnies. The Bonnies are 53rd nationally in defense finishing at the rim, according to shot quality. Osunui, their main shot blocker, he's the leading shot blocker in the history of St. Bonaventure. He had the game-winning block in the last round against Virginia, and they are top 10 at blocking shots. So I do think Bonaventure can limit what Xavier really wants to do offensively, and that is get to the rim. Where the Bonaventure defense really struggles is from the perimeter. They give up a lot of open threes, but Xavier is just 261st in the country in three-point percentage. They were one of the worst shooting teams in the Big East this season. Bonaventure's offense likes to run in transition, but I don't think they're going to be able to as much as they want to in this game because of the foul trouble. If they go up and down with Xavier, who likes to play at a fast pace, that means more possessions, which means more fouls, which could be trouble for Bonaventure. I think Bonnies are going to look to play a little bit slower in the half court, limit possessions, grind this game down in the half court, and make Xavier's offense execute in the half court where they are significantly worse than they've been in transition this season. Bonaventure doesn't turn the ball over. They have very experienced guards. They're top 50 in turnover rate. That means I think they're going to also look to get downhill, but that goes into the strength of the Xavier defense, which is interior defense. The Musketeers, one of the better defensive finishing at the rim teams in the Big East this season, struggled to guard the perimeter. But again, Bonaventure, not a team who's going to consistently make outside shots. They like to live in the mid-range and at the rim, and I just don't really see them getting a ton of success there either. You throw in the fact that this is a neutral court game, it's a big tournament semifinal, you could get some nerves, and you're forcing both offenses to go out of their comfort zone and win in areas from the perimeter that they're not typically used to. All those point toward the under for me, a slower pace, a little bit less efficiency. I'm taking the under, but I'm splitting my bet from the first half and the full game. So half a unit, 65.5 under in the first half, half a unit under 140.5 for the full game. That's where I'm going for the first game. Let's go to the second game. Also a very close spread. Bonaventure was laying 1.5 in the first game. This one also a 1.5 point spread. Washington State traveling across the country from Pullman, 1.5 point underdogs against Texas A&M. And this is another game, two teams who like to win with defense. Washington State's season has been marred by injuries and COVID. They've had only 3 players in their rotation that have played in every game. They've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. But when they've had everybody available, like they've had for their last 3 NIT games, they rank 20th in the country in Bart Torvik. They've played as like an elite team. In part, they have size, they have defense at the rim. They are 23rd best in finishing at the rim defense per shot quality, and that is a major key against Texas A&M, who cannot shoot from the perimeter. Also, Cougars excellent at turning teams over. Washington State top 50 at turnovers. That's another area where Texas A&M really struggles. What does Texas A&M do well? They force turnovers and love to run out and transition off of those turnovers. They are an elite transition offense. They are elite at ball pressure, top 10 in the country at turning teams over. But the Cougars don't really turn it over. When they've had their healthy backcourt, they're a top 50 offense in turnover rate. So Texas A&M is not going to get a lot of turnovers. They're going to have major problems on the defensive glass against an elite offensive rebounding team with Washington State. That means Washington State's either going to get shots or they're going to get second chance opportunities, and that's really going to limit Texas A&M's chances to run in transition in this game, which hurts their offense considerably. In the half court, this A&M offense is really bad. Outside the top 250 in shot quality, they cannot shoot from the perimeter. They were the second worst shooting team in the SEC this year, and if you can't shoot against Washington State, it is very hard to get points in the mid-range or at the rim against this long front court. Like I said, Washington State, elite defense at the rim. A&M can't score enough in the half court. And I understand that A&M is playing their best basketball of the season. They've won 10 of 11 games. They probably should have made the NCAA tournament. But you can't discount what Washington State has really done as well. They ended the season with 3 wins in the regular season. They had 2 decent performances in the Pac-12 tournament despite being shorthanded. Were competitive with UCLA, and then they've rolled and won by double digits in all 3 of their NIT games. I'm rolling with the Cougs, given their matchup advantages. They're going to make this game play in the half court, and I think plus 1.5 is a little bit short. I think the Cougars should be a slight favorite, and therefore I'm going to take them plus 1.5 to advance to the NIT final. To recap, I like the unders, first half and full game, in the Xavier and St. Bonaventure game, and I'm rolling with Washington State plus 1.5 in the nightcap of the NIT Semifinals. Thanks for viewing, and hopefully we get a great final matchup on Thursday.